Hi guys, this week on Melissa Elise TV, I'm going to tell you about my favorite TV shows for this winter, so stay tuned. What's up everyone, I'm Melissa Elise and you're watching Melissa Elise TV. If you've been with me so far, you know I've been doing first reaction and review videos for season 3 of Outlander, which just wrapped up 2 Sundays ago. Yes, the Droughtlander has begun, but I've started the books, so you can join me for a weekly book club series if you can't get enough Outlander. Of course, I'm watching several other shows, but this is kind of an awkward time of year because some shows have just finished while others are on break, and yet some have just started. I actually have to keep a list just to keep track of all the shows I'm watching and when they air so I don't miss them. I usually do my list by day of the week, so it's not really in order of favorites. If I'm watching a show, it's because it's caught my attention and I think it's worth watching. I do have a number 1 favorite though right now that I'll talk about closer to the end, otherwise this whole video will just be about that. So at the top, airing on Sundays, is Showtime's Shameless. Shameless is a gritty drama about 6 siblings living on the south side of Chicago and their degenerate father, Frank Gallagher, played by the incomparable William H. Macy. It is no wonder that this show is in its 8th season because it's fantastic. Yes, it is an adaptation of the British version of the show, which I haven't seen, but if it's anything like this, I'll assume that it was a wonderful show as well. Each season gets better and better. The stakes are higher, the drama's more raw and in your face. It's one of the best examples I've seen of an ensemble cast where each character is equally developed and strong. There isn't one particular character whose storyline kind of lags or doesn't make sense. It's just wonderfully scripted and the cast works so well together. The show's already aired 7 episodes and they have 5 more left in the season, and I fully expect them to be a roller coaster ride because that's what you sign up for when you watch this show. 2 other shows I watch are This Is Us and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This Is Us was a hit in its first season, introducing the world to the Parson family in 2 different time periods. You get to see their family at its conception, and you follow the parents, Jack and what's the wife's name? Rebecca, that's her name. Then you flash forward to the 3 siblings as they're adults and the challenges that their lives face, which usually mirror their past as kids and the things that their parents went through. Now in the middle of its 2nd season, I'd say it's still going strong. This show is definitely a tearjerker, so always keep the tissues handy. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine is my favorite sitcom right now. I've loved Andy Samberg for a while, ever since his Lonely Island days, and so when I heard he was getting his own show, I was so excited, and he does not disappoint. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is so funny, and what's great about it is you can watch episode after episode in a short amount of time. They're only about 22 minutes, so you can binge this easily. Modern Family is another sitcom that I'm still enjoying, now in its 9th season. This is one of those shows that I put on in the background of whatever I'm doing, but it always catches my attention and makes me laugh. A new addition to Wednesday nights is Vikings. It used to air on Thursdays, but in season 5 it made the change, which is a good thing for the show because Wednesday night is a bit more prime time than Thursday, which means the show's growing in its popularity, as it should, because it's great. Obviously it's about the people we think of as Vikings, but it takes a closer, more historically accurate look at the way their culture worked and the people groups that they had contact with via the life of Ragnar Lothbrok and his actually far more historically famous sons, as well as his first wife Lagatha, played by the amazing Catherine Winnick. Last season we actually had to say goodbye to Ragnar, played by Travis Fimmel, and it was an epic death, and at Comic-Con this past year they did a Viking funeral for him and some of the other characters that the show has lost. But season 5 is proving to be equally as incredible as it's been in the past, with his sons taking a more prominent role in the show. It's amazing. The new addition to the show, Alex Biscuits, I don't know how to say his last name, but he, oh my gosh, as Ivar the Boneless, is killing it so hard. And as always, Alexander Ludwig and Gustav Skarsgård as Floki and Boren are amazing as well and keep the show on par with what Travis laid track for them to do. The show's creator, Michael Hurst, is pretty much my hero because I love what he's able to do by taking history and making great shows. I used to watch Tudors, which was on Showtime, also created by Michael Hurst, and that's why I started watching Vikings, but I've kept watching because it has so many incredible characters and the production value is on point. I also watch Gotham. Honestly, I often get behind on this one, but it's a good show to watch multiple episodes of back to back because they build so well off of each other. And I also like the backstory that they've created for Jim Gordon. And in this season, they just started building up Bruce Wayne into a vigilante while also giving him a chance to be a billionaire playboy. I'm not sure where the show is going with the Batman story yet, but I like what they've done so far, and I also really enjoy Ben McKenzie's portrayal of Jim Gordon. Maybe it's because Gotham is Batman's world, but this show kind of feels like a Saturday morning cartoon to me, but darker. This next show is probably the one I've been watching the longest, now in its 14th season, Grey's Anatomy. I believe it's on a holiday break, but when it comes back, I'll be watching as it finishes out the season. And I believe it already got picked up for season 15, so way to go, Shonda. A lot of shows tend to take a break right around now for the holidays, which is actually kind of a good thing because it gives you time to catch up on those or other shows that have already wrapped their season. I just started watching Big Little Lies again. I had started when the show aired, but I stopped around the 3rd episode so that I could read the book, which was fantastic. And so now I'm going back and rewatching and then finishing the season. If I can find the time, I'd really like to watch Mindhunter on Netflix and Nightfall on History Channel. I believe the whole season of Mindhunter is on Netflix and Nightfall should have just started on History Channel. I'm super interested in both of them. They both look really good. I've been hearing and seeing a lot of great things. So if anyone's watched either of those, let me know what you thought. Okay, so my number one favorite show has to be Peaky Blinders. It is crazy to me that people still don't seem to know about this show, and it's perfect. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't absolutely believe it. The story is based on the real gangster family in 1919 Birmingham, England, that got their name from sewing razor blades into the peaks of their caps. Their fierce leader, Tommy Shelby, played by Cillian Murphy, is both a brave, loyal, and loving father and brother, but also cold and ruthless when he has to be. If the story or the brilliant cast wasn't enough, the cinematography, the editing, the set design, the costumes, the music make this my absolute favorite show. Season 4 has already been airing in the UK, and it hits Netflix in the US tomorrow, December 21st. If you haven't watched Peaky Blinders, do yourself a favor and please go check it out. I want to talk about one more show, Billions. I started watching this show because of Maggie Siff, who played Tara Knowles on Sons of Anarchy, but I kept watching because of the incredible chemistry between her and her co-stars, Paul Giamatti and Damian Lewis from Homeland. They propel this story of a U.S. attorney, played by Giamatti, who goes head-to-head with hedge fund king Bobby Axelrod, played by Lewis, with Maggie, who plays Wendy Rhodes, stuck in the middle as Axe's employee, therapist, and friend. This show has barely scratched the surface on the mysteriously connected past of these characters, so I'm so glad it's coming back for season 3. They haven't actually released the date that it's supposed to air, but it should be somewhere between the end of January and the beginning of February. When the show does return, I'll be uploading weekly reviews, so be on the lookout for that. Seasons 1 and 2 have 12 episodes each, so if you start now, you can definitely catch up before season 3. So those are my favorite shows for this winter. If you're watching any of them, or if there's another show you highly recommend, let me know in the comment section. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more.